In this video, we will discuss the Hamada equation and its effect on the cost of equity capital. The Hamada equation is a relationship between a leverage beta and an unleveraged beta, such that the leverage beta equals the unleveraged beta times 1 plus 1 minus the corporate tax rate times debt over equity, such that if the company has no debt, the leverage beta and the unleveraged beta are the same. Once a beta leveraged is calculated, it can be stuck in the capital asset pricing model, again such that the cost of equity capital or cost of retained earnings equals the risk-free rate plus the market risk premium, which is the rate of return on the market, minus the risk-free rate times beta. We will look at a particular example where the corporate tax rate is 0.4 or 40%. The unleveraged beta is the beta for a typical company of 1. The risk-free rate is 3, which could be the rate of return on a U.S. government T-bill. And the market rate of return is 13, which could be the typical rate of return on the Wilshire 5000 or the S&P 500. Once we have all this data, we can calculate leverage beta as a function of multiple different debt-to-equity ratios. So we look at companies with a debt-to-equity ratio starting with 0, which of course then the leverage beta will be the same as the unleveraged beta at 1, increasing all the way up to beyond 2. And for this, again, we use the Excel version of our Hamada equation, where the first term D9 is the unleveraged beta, the D8 is again our corporate tax rate, and the C15, without the dollar signs, is the only number that changes, our debt-to-equity ratios. Therefore, we get a leverage beta starting at 1 for no leverage, going up to 1.6 for having the same amount of debt and equity, and then increasing beyond that point. Once we have our leverage beta, we can stick that in our capital asset pricing model to get the cost of equity capital, which again is the risk-free rate of 3% plus the market risk premium, which is 13 minus 3, or 10, times D14, which will vary, which is our leverage beta, starting at 1, giving a cost of equity capital of 13. When we increase up to the point we have 50% debt and 50% equity, our debt-to-equity ratio is 1, and the cost of capital is 19%, and it increases beyond this. So we can see for our graph, as the amount of leverage or the amount of debt increases, the cost of equity capital increases, consistent with a more leveraged or more risky company, which therefore has a higher possibility of bankruptcy. Thank you for watching this video.